All right. We're going to go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and, where'd my gavel go? There it is. I'm going to go ahead and call our Sherwood City Council meeting for April 1st, 2025 to order. All rise for
April
the pledge.
Fools. Oh,
Yes.
just kidding.
All rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, thank you, everybody. Sylvia, roll call.
Mayor Rosner?
Here?
Council President Young?
Here.
Councilor Browse?
Here.
Councilor Mays?
Here.
Councilor Scott?
Here.
Councilor Giles?
Here.
Councilor Stankey?
Here.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. Tonight we have two items on the consent agenda. We have item A, approval of the March 18th, 2025 City Council meeting
You want
minutes.
approval of the agenda first?
Oh, yeah, I should do that first. Thank you, sir.
Second.
All those in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
All right, motion passes. Thank you, council. Now we'll move on to the consent agenda. We have two items tonight. Item A, approval of the March 18th, 2025 City Council meeting minutes. And item B, resolution 2025-018, authorizing the city manager to execute a construction contract for the Edie Road Grind and Inlay project.
I move consent. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of approving the consent agenda, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Thank you, council. All right, citizen comments. I know we have one. At least.
Maybe two.
Maybe two?
Looks like two.
Two, awesome. All right. All righty. Nancy Taylor, welcome to the meeting. It's on. Actually,
Red is on
red
on
is
that
on
one.
that one. But you're all good.
It's not April Fool's.
Okay, so, hi panel. I'm here to follow up with you on something I sent you earlier this week and something I've talked to you about, which is Clean Water Services. And apparently I had pretty good instincts about what was going on at Clean Water Services. And I'm just here in light of all this information, asking you, as a council, if you're putting a letter together or putting meetings together to ask Clean Water Services, A, to maybe audit themselves or have somebody come in and audit them, and B, to relook at the rates increases they're looking at. And apparently there's another article in the newspaper about it. So the one I sent you, there's a follow-up to it. I would ask you to pick up the Oregonian and look at it, and I'm done.
I didn't get anything from you, and so if you want to resend it,
Yes.
okay, thanks.
Or could, Tim, could you send it to them?
Yeah, I think I got it. I can have, I can't under
I would
public meeting rules,
appreciate
but I can have Craig do it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
Thank you.
And do you plan on sending, I'm asking a question, do you plan on following up with them? And if so, what are those plans?
well, we don't, so citizen comments are not for, you know this, not for answering questions, but what I can tell you is there's a meeting Friday with all the mayors and the county commissioners who happen to also be the board for Clean Water Services on this subject. So,
I would just ask you to be very stern with them. It is taxpayer money.
thank you, Nancy.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Sean Garland. Welcome, Sean. It's good to see you.
Good to be here.
You know how this works. I don't think I have to.
I think so.
Tell ya?
Yeah. Let's check this is on. All right. So, Mayor, Council, thank you for letting me speak tonight. So, I am here tonight just to follow up on an email sent earlier this week. Just really requesting that the Sherwood Council create and put out a proclamation for Pride Month in June here, something that Sherwood has never done in the past, while every surrounding city around us has done so and continues to do so. And when I say every city, here's just a brief list. So, of course, Governor Kotek has officially recognized June as Pride Month in the state of Oregon. Washington County, Multnomah County, Portland, Beaverton, Hillsborough, Lake Oswego, Wilsonville, West Lynn, Oregon City, Forest Grove, and our neighbors Tualatin, Tigard, and Newburgh. Newburgh has created a pride proclamation. Sherwood has not. So one thing I just really want to point out is that a proclamation for Pride Month is not divisive. It really is the opposite. It's inclusive to all of those who have been marginalized, both locally and throughout our country. It recognizes our sense of community and really shows that everyone in our city is welcome. I've said this to all of you before, really around in the past around the DEI statement, which we did finally get taken care of. Thank you, Councilor Browse, for all your work on that. But really a lack of a statement is a statement in itself. We're telling our LGBT community that we're just really not important enough to be recognized for this major month that is recognized, again, by our neighbors across the country. Sherwood isn't doing that. And just one point is, a proclamation, it's not a resolution. It's not going to change city code. It's not a law. If the members of our community don't like this proclamation for a Pride Month, they don't have to change their behavior one single bit. It doesn't change their life. Their life's going to go on for them. But what it does do is it really changes the way that our citizens, our neighbors, our LGBTQ friends here in our city, it tells them that they're seen and that they matter, and that our city leaders and elected officials recognize them. I mean, it matters to them. It matters to the kids in our community, in our schools, who just really might be struggling with their identity and their sexuality, to hear from our elected officials and our city leaders that they're seen and that they're recognized. And so, going back to those kids, we have a youth group here in our high school who puts on a Pride Festival every summer, and I know Mayor Rosner, I've seen you in attendance, Councilor Stanke, I know you and your family have attended. These events are well attended by both locals and those from outside of our city. They're safe, they're fun. I know our police department does a great job keeping them that way. But if you've attended these, you've heard that some of these kids and attendees don't feel safe in our community. And we just really need to do better. I know I'm running out of time here. What this proclamation does is it really does welcome this group who has been systemically marginalized, beaten, killed, and have laws in our country written specifically against them. Sherwood does plenty of proclamations. It doesn't necessarily mean that we're singling this group out at the expense of others, and I know that we do a National Public Works Week in May. I haven't heard a lot of other complaints from other employees that aren't Public Works employees that have complained. So, I've sat up there on the dais with you all. We've been in meetings for years talking about the future of Sherwood, how to make it better. This is one easy way to make our community better. I just really ask that you do this proclamation this year. I've been asking for a long time. You've got the power to do what's right. You got 2 months to get it done. Just please do the right thing. So thanks for your time.
Thank you, Sean. All right. We're going to go ahead and roll right into presentations. We happen to have a proclamation today. The proclamation we have today is for Arbor Day. One of the reasons we do this is we are a part of a program called Tree City USA. You've probably seen the signs around town. And part of that program that we participate in is doing a proclamation. So I'm going to go ahead and read that today. Proclamation, Arbor Day, April 25th, 2025. Whereas in 1872, the first Arbor Day was observed in Nebraska with the planting of more than 1 million trees, and whereas Arbor Day is now observed throughout the nation and the world, and whereas the state of Oregon has declared that this first full week of April shall be designated as Arbor Week, and whereas the city of Sherwood has been a Tree City USA city since 2005, and whereas the city is committed to urban forestry as a partner in Clean Water Services Tree for All campaign, a collaborative effort to plant native trees and shrubs in the Tualatin River Basin, and whereas the city is committed to partnering with local schools to teach students that trees properly planted and cared for are a source of community environment that assists in mental health, peaceful renewal, and provides many comforts such as shade, clean air, beauty, and increasing property values. And whereas having beautiful trees planted in our communities is important to our citizens. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Tim Rosner, Mayor of the City of Sherwood, Oregon, do hereby proclaim April 25th, 2025 as Arbor Day in the City of Sherwood. I call upon all citizens of Sherwood and the surrounding communities to celebrate Arbor Day, to support the efforts to protect our trees and woodlands, and to plant trees that promote the well-being of this and future generations. Dated April 1st, 2025. Kristen, did staff want to add anything on this one today?
So we are scheduled for April 25th to partner with one of the elementaries with Sherwood School District. We're still working on that. It will likely be over at Middleton Elementary. We just need to confirm that. And we'll go into one of our swales. And usually we plant about 100. We try to make sure that, I think we're going to work with the third graders this year. So we try to make sure that every kiddo has an opportunity to plant at least one tree, maybe a shrub. And we have a fun time with it. We partner with AKS Surveying and Forestry and the school district, and we give them stickers and make it a fun day. And we talk about how Arbor Day started and the importance of trees and what they do for our environment.
That's awesome.
Awesome. Any questions?
I know you've done that for a lot of years, so just thank you for organizing that.
A lot of fun.
No.
Did you invite the mayor?
We will be, yes, as soon as we have it confirmed where we're going. Yes, absolutely. You're all
We all
invited.
get an invite every year.
Yes,
Yeah.
please. This is one of my favorites because the
Kids
have,
love to meet the mayor.
Yes,
Yes.
and they really have so much fun, and the kids have a really good time. They learn and they have fun. They find worms. I think one year they found like a salamander or something. So yeah, they have a good time with it.
Anytime you can get dirty, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. We are on to public hearings. Sylvia, you want to read us in?
The Sherwood City Council will hold 2 public hearings this evening to receive testimony on ordinance 2025-001, amending Sherwood Municipal Codes 8.04 and 10.08, and removing 9.60 regarding targeting and towing vehicles. And the second hearing is for Resolution 2025-019, amending Section 3 of the city's Schedule of Fees for parking violations and police services and establishing an effective date. For Ordinance 2025-001, this is the second hearing on that ordinance.
Thank you, Sylvia. And I just want to amend what you said regarding ticketing and towing vehicles, not targeting.
Oh, thank you, Mayor.
I didn't want the people to think we were targeting.
Yes,
targeting
thank you.
vehicles.
Thank you.
No problem.
The public hearing this evening will be conducted as follows. The staff will present a staff report. Questions, if any, by the City Council for staff. We will then receive written testimony. We will then open the public hearing for testimony, and the time will be limited to 4 minutes per person. Any interested person may present testimony. We will then close the public hearings. No other comments will be heard from the public. Final comments by staff. Questions of staff, if any, by the council, followed by council discussion. For the ordinance, this is the second hearing before the City Council on this item. A decision may be made by the council at the close of this hearing, or the matter may be continued to a time and date certain. If the matter is continued to a time and date certain, this is the only notice of that date you will receive. The following statement applies to both legislative items. If you wish to speak, please fill out a request to speak form and submit it to the city recorder prior to the time the public hearing is open for testimony. The mayor will recognize people who wish to speak, and any comments must be addressed through the mayor. When you come forward, please state your name and place of residence for the record, as this hearing will be recorded.
Thank you so much, Sylvia. So we'll go ahead and go into the staff report for the ordinance. Sebastian.
Mayor Rosner and Council, my name is Sebastian Tapia. I'm the interim city attorney. Before you is ordinance 2025-001. It's a comprehensive review of the city's current municipal codes, specifically concerning parking and towing, and some strategic changes and updates based on changes in law. Previously, previously provided council an extended version of this presentation. This is only highlights of the public hearing update that I provided at the previous regular council session. And I will just reiterate that one of the features of the changes that you have before you is a requirement that notifications to the registered owner, the driver of the vehicle, will get information about the vehicle's current location and the date and time of potential tow. And second major change is that the city is responsible for making reasonable efforts to identify the owner of a vehicle. In this column, person is only required to submit proof of ownership or the right to be able to pick up a vehicle that has been towed. And in here, there's been a major change, reducing 7 business days to just 3 to parallel state statute. And then there was a change concerning the time and location. An existing statute, it addressed only a linear path. The addition in this section was to add reference to a lot, a city parking lot. In this section, some of the fees were embedded in the code. We now have them all removed to a fee schedule. That resolution will be next before council for your consideration. We added no parking and no parking zones, and authorized immediate tow in situations where there are repeat offenses where ticketing itself isn't sufficient to change behavior. That's all I have at this point, and if council has any questions, I'm ready to take those now.
Awesome, thank you, Sebastian. Questions for Sebastian? And for the public, this is in our last meeting, we had a very detailed, thank you, Sebastian, a run through of all this code. That's why we're being a little bit more brief tonight. So, any questions? Awesome. Was there any written testimony?
We're going to open the...
Not yet. Okay.
I'm
great.
nowhere.
All right, we'll go ahead and open the public hearing. Do we have any?
I do not, Mayor, no.
And I don't see anybody online. And since the audience is, well, we have one non-staff member in audience.
2.
Or 2, I'm sorry, 2.
We're going to get into so much trouble.
Well, your mom's kind of an honorary staff person, keeps you in line, yeah. Any comments from the public tonight? All right, I'll go ahead and close the public hearing. Discussion amongst council. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion.
I will read caption and adopt ordinance 2025-001, amending Sherwood Municipal Code 8.04 and 10.08 and removing 9.60 regarding ticketing and towing vehicles. Second.
All right, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor of, I'm sorry. Oh, it's a roll call vote. Yes, it's an ordinance.
Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah,
Ordinance
thank
2025-001, amending Sherwood Municipal Codes 8.04 and 10.08, and removing 9.60 regarding ticketing and towing vehicles. Counselor Giles, how do you vote?
For it?
Thank you. Counselor Scott?
Aye.
Counselor Mays?
Aye.
Counselor Stankey?
Aye.
Counselor Browse?
Aye.
Council President Young?
Aye.
Mayor Rosner?
Aye.
Thank you.
All right, thank you, Sylvia. Ordinance passes. Next for our public hearing is Resolution 2025-019, amending Section 3 of the city schedule for fees, as you referenced earlier. Sebastian, do you have any more presentation on that?
Briefly, Mayor, I provided in a track change version the current version of the fee schedule for the police services. This slide just demonstrates the changes as they would be if council were to adopt. Some highlights about the changes for council. This was in coordination with Ordinance 2025-001. It identifies by the title of each of the sections a fee associated with that section, so there's no ambiguity with the differences in change. It now addresses long-term offenders as well as repeat offenders, and it updates the way in which the police department had already been charging for public records, so comes in alignment with current practice. And if council has any questions, I can take them at this point.
Thank you, Sebastian. Any questions for Sebastian?
I do have a question. So the 3 places where it says staff hourly rate, I mean, whose hourly rate? That sounds like that can be subjective.
It would be the individual who's processing the request. So for public records requests, several different staff members can participate towards an ultimate product. Each one of those staff members' times would be added to the cost.
Fairly common with public records requests.
And that's consistent with state law, I'm assuming.
It is.
Okay.
Any other questions?
So to follow up on that though, if I were to ask somebody, well, how much is this going to cost me to, appeal or do the different things or whatever, do we even have a ballpark for that, or is
By
it?
estimates.
We do?
So Giles, we do provide estimates,
Okay.
and the requester is able to decline it if they don't want to move forward. They're expected to pay the estimate, and the records are produced once once
that be
we
a-
receive payment.
Is that estimate firm, like, and not to exceed? Like, we wouldn't come back and say, oh, it cost us $200 more.
I believe that's correct. I believe current practice is that even if it takes longer, we don't charge more. Is that?
But we would charge less if the actual came out less than the estimate?
So part of this, the schedule of fees council is in conjunction to a city policy that we have. So the city has a records request policy. That policy basically states that staff rates are based on the fee schedule, and the first 15 minutes of staff time is at no charge to the customer. Beyond 15 minutes, the staff will provide the customer with the cost estimate. It will take 1 hour at this rate and leave it up to the customer to either provide a deposit for that. If staff finds that the work is going to exceed that one estimate that we provided, then we will contact the customer, tell them that a reevaluation has determined this, and then let the customer decide if they want to move forward or not.
Okay.
They don't move forward, do they get their money back?
Yes.
Okay.
Great. Any other questions? No? Yep. No, you got one?
No, I'll make a motion if it's good.
Yeah?
Is this a full public hearing?
It's a resolution.
Yeah, okay. So we don't have to do all that.
It is a resolution, but pursuant to ORS 294.160, this is a public hearing because it's associated with either the creation or the increase of a fee.
Okay.
Never mind, I'm pausing.
So on a resolution, we can do 2 readings, or we can just approve it tonight.
I'm ready for a public hearing first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was wondering if you wanted to know what the process was, so. All right. Was there any written testimony?
I'm not aware of any written
Okay,
testimony.
great. All right, I'm going to go ahead and open the public hearing. Doesn't look like we have anybody online. And Sylvia, do we have
have
anyone
none.
sign up? All right, I'll close the public hearing. Any additional discussion?
Since it's just a resolution, not an ordinance, I would support voting on it tonight.
I would agree, considering it's also in conjunction with the previously approved ordinance, which has been through 2 hearings.
Everybody okay with that?
I'd be okay with that.
Yep.
Tonight.
Okay.
Mayor, I'd move to approve resolution 2025-019, amending section 3 of the city's schedule of fees for parking violations and police services and establishing an effective date.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Sylvia, do we need to do a roll call on a resolution?
No, Mayor.
I didn't think we did double checking. All right, all those in favor of approving resolution 2025-019, amending section 3 of the city's schedule of fees for parking violations and police services and establishing an effective date, say aye. Aye. Opposed? All right, motion passes. Thank you, council. And we are on to city manager report.
Just a couple items tonight. Another successful section of the bridge went up a couple weeks ago since we last met, so we're still on target, my understanding, to middle of May for third week in May, I think is what it is, for the last 2 spans. So more to come on that. And then I'd just like to take an opportunity to thank Lydia tonight. We talked about putting on some management training for the cities. It's an area that we haven't done for a long time. And so Lydia went to work and scheduled this next month of on Wednesdays, half day, all our managers, leadership teams together at the police department going through management training. We've done it at leadership probably about, 2014 or 15. There hasn't been a lot of management training. That's one area that I have noticed the last year. So we have a lot of new managers, a lot of new supervisors, people have left, and she did a great job. And today was the opening day. I'm going to miss next week's because the mayor and I are going to be in DC, but I expect we'll be positive from the staff that attend next week as well. So it's kind of nice to see that. So everybody can be on the same page. And one of the things that I'll recommend after this is anybody that's hired as a supervisor or manager go through this training. So as we move forward, so the team is all on the same page. So thank you. That's all I got. Any questions for myself or the rest of the leadership that's here?
I think that's awesome. Of course, Lydia always does a great job. I'll be curious to hear when this wins over how the staff felt the process went.
Yeah, I would hope to do a survey. This is one of the areas that I've heard from some of the supervisors that they need more training in this certain area over the past year or so. So I'm sure we'll get some positive reviews on that.
What does it include? What topics?
Well, today was more on communication and disc profile, as well as mainly those are the 2 areas. And everybody playing at you get people that dip below. Next week, I think they'll get into performance reviews and some of those. And Lydia and I talked about the whole month on Wednesday, what it's going to be about, but it's really, that'll be what it's covered all the way through and some other stuff. So it's been a long time since we've done this, so it'll be good.
Important.
I hate to even add more to our plate, but
Oh, no.
after we get through this, and if it turns out great, I'd love to identify potential leaders and anyway get ahead on it, right? And so you can start building the bench of people that are interested in it, or so that we, again, just like with the police department, we like to think ahead and who's going to retire, who's going to move up, and so that we can get the next generation trained up. Because I think everybody up here wants our employees to feel we're investing in them, and if training is going to help them in their career, let's do that. So that's great.
And that is a conversation we've had. So
Great.
You can only get so many in right
Yeah,
now. And
no.
I think, right? But I think it's
Start
next.
somewhere.
You start with the next level down.
Yeah.
Going through it. So
That's great.
Any other? Yes.
Yes, Greg, can you speak to the water change at Stella Olson Park in the wetland by the boardwalk? Do you know about the beaver dams being removed?
I don't know. Rich, do you have that?
So Stella Olson Park, a few weeks ago, we removed some beaver dams that were in there. The area was inundating some of our structures along the trail, the wood trail. So what we did is basically restore it to the way it was years ago. So there's still plenty of area there for the ducks and other areas to feed. Is there some other concerns, or just
No,
the way
just
that it looks?
general information for the public. When we were down there, we didn't know why there was no water. And
Sure.
so just asking at the public meeting to let people know what's going on with that if there's questions.
So yeah, the water level had come up quite a bit. It was also the water level in the dams was causing some of the trails to become flooded. Villa at times, the water was completely across the road, so that trail wasn't passable. Also in the park, we had put up signs, some of the lower trails that weren't passable as well. So
Yeah.
it's all that.
Do you know if this will help with the trail that runs along the creek there?
It should, yes.
That'd be great.
Do you know then if there was a tree that a beaver had gnawed through and it was about ready to fall, it would have fallen on somebody's house? Do you know if that was taken care of?
If that was the house off of 3rd Street,
I think so.
yeah. Staff was in there probably 2 or 3 weeks ago as well. There was one tree that staff took out.
Okay.
The other tree we actually got an arborist in to help us out. It was a little bit more beyond our capability. at the
Okay.
time.
Thank you.
Oh, well, Rich is sitting there, but I'll ask Craig and what I sent you earlier this week. Have we been having a big problem with our park bathrooms getting vandalized like that one?
Not that I'm aware of, but when it gets close to spring, and we seem to have a few issues, and like that is one of them.
That was very disappointing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yes.
Just a lot of praise to everybody, in the entire city staff, contractor, engineering firms, for another successful bridge segments lift. You guys dial up the best weather days, and then you say, okay, we're going to shut it down for 2.5 days, and less than 24 hours later, you open them all back up because the job's done.
Just like Scotty on Star Trek.
Oh my God, way to go! So proud of everybody, and it looks great.
yeah, the contractor did another great
So
job.
awesome.
That's really cool.
Well, by the way, thank you for the update on the beavers. This makes me so happy because I have a bet with a neighbor because he's convinced there's no beavers. It's all nutria. So now I can have him watch this session. I got proof, so thank you.
Silly beavers.
We got beavers.
Beaver in that waterway.
Yeah, yeah. Awesome.
All right.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else for the city manager or Kristen or staff?
I'm just glad that they left a place for the ducks to live and they're trying to get rid of the beavers.
I was wondering when that was coming through.
I wasn't going to say it. I want them all to thrive and be happy and successful.
I think you want to be first to council announcements tonight.
That's fine. All right, we did not have planning commission again, so hopefully that gets.
This might become a permanent thing.
Basically.
Bad joke, sorry. Anyway, so hopefully that gets back on track, but, and I have no announcements. I just barely got back into town, so I'm just catching up on email, and I'll have more for you next week.
Awesome, thank you. Renee?
I don't really have anything either. With it being spring break, it was kind of a quiet week. But happy birthday to my daughter, whose birthday is tomorrow.
Thanks.
Keith? I saw it look that way, so.
Yeah, thanks, Mayor. Appreciate it. Always great to have our council meetings. I was throwing love and praise at our city staff all around departments for the bridge and how great it's gone, because I continue to be just stupefied and crazed, angry over the Willamette Supply Group project managers. Contractor, great. Employees, great. Project managers, man, they all need to go. That's my nugget for the day.
Doug?
Well, since we're doing birthdays, I'll add one. My amazing and wonderful wife, Teresa, had a milestone birthday last week, so we celebrated that over at the coast.
Thanks.
So that was fun.
Than some of us.
So 30?
Sure. Come on. No, so that was great. And Parks Board will meet next Monday, 7 o'clock, right here in this room. I was gone at our last meeting, but I did, but I did attend the park. No, we talked about Parks Board? We didn't have one? Yeah, we did. That's because we talked about all the beaver dam stuff. I was going to bring it up. We talked about that there. So I was going to bring it up, but it's already been covered. So the beaver dams, along with the trees that we cut down every month. Dead trees. Yeah, I always make sure I say that. But every month, like clockwork, there's always a tree that needs to be, a dead tree that needs to get cut down. So someday I'll go to a Parks Board meeting and there won't be a tree removal report, and I'll be shocked. Don't hold my breath? Okay. But it's good. We're keeping the dead trees away and planting new live ones. So it's good. There was also a really good conversation around the senior, I think we talked about this, Langer Park, senior, kind of the collaboration with the senior board on some park-related activities, recreational activities in the parks for seniors. So good stuff. But tomorrow, or no, next Monday, 7 o'clock in this room.
Awesome, thank you. Dan?
Okay, the library board met since last time I was here, and they discussed open house on the 10th of April. It'll be all day here in the library. There will be electronic petting zoos for people at different times of the day.
What's an electronic petting zoo?
Explain this
Come
to us,
find
Dan.
out.
Can you zoom into that, or?
I don't want to give anything away.
Okay.
Come check it out. It's 11 to 5 and 4 to 5, I believe, for those two times for that. But there'll be other activities throughout the rest of the day.
So remind me, what's the event?
It's Library Week,
Okay.
and so it's an open house for the library to celebrate Library Week.
Apologize for missing.
Also, with the state of the city being the same night that the library board typically meets, the meeting time has changed from 6:30 to 7:15, so it'll follow the state of the city. If anybody is interested in joining the library meeting after that, just come on over here. The school board met as well since last time I was here. There is still a vacant position. You need to be a resident of Sherwood and have resided here at least 1 year. Also, at that last meeting, the interdistrict transfers was revisited, and they did a revote on that with the full board at that time present, and that number was changed from 30 transfers out to only 10 transfers out. So we still have some, but not as many. Just want to give an update on that. Also, the superintendent shared that we were net positive 30 students over our forecast for this school year. And so that was good for our budget, and people are interested in the Sherwood School District. I did a ride-along with the Sherwood Police Department recently, and during the shift change briefing, there was some mental health training, wellness for the staff there. Sergeants did a great job with that. It was nice to see inside a police department during that training and what's going on. It's not something that I typically get to be a part of. And there's a lot of cell phone use in our city, I think everywhere in the world, but especially in our city. Yeah, while driving, watching people. It was surprising, all the stuff that's going on when you're actually paying attention to that. People are not doing correctly. So drive safe out there. Be aware of other drivers. And stay off your phone. I learned that if you are charged 3 times with that you can face jail time for electronic use. So it can get serious, which I think is the point to deter people from doing that. The whole point of it is to change behavior. So that's all I got.
Awesome, thank you.
I don't really have anything, but we had a work session this evening with the Chamber of Commerce, came in and kind of gave us a brief view of a strategic plan for them. I attended last week their chamber networking event at 503 Uncorked. It was very well attended. They did some really nice networking games to get to know your businesses, the other businesses that were there. And then next Tuesday, the 8th, there will be a chamber breakfast hosted by Perlo Construction out in one of the biggest buildings out there in the Sherwood Commerce Center. They hosted it last time, just a big empty building, and come see their biggest building, one of their big buildings.
Awesome,
That's
that's
all.
it?
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. I just have a couple things. Craig already mentioned it. We're going to DC next week. This is going to be, the last trip was for the NLC Congressional City Conference, which is more about networking and learning and being able to interact with a lot of the federal employees, federal programs out there and program staff out there that we engage with. This trip's more about getting funding for specific projects in Sherwood related to our sewer system. And also we're going to be getting some updates on our $5 million EPA grant and where that sits given all the cuts that have been occurring at the federal level, or potential cuts. So we're out there to secure more money and make sure we're still getting the money we were promised. So, and then we have the State of the City coming up on the 17th. So I encourage 16th. I'm sorry. Are you sure? 16th. 16th. Wednesday. Yes. Looking forward to having a night. We had a great turnout last year. We have a great program put together for this year, so I'm looking forward to that. And just a big shout out to staff. Echo what Councilor Mays said. The staff and the engineering firms have done an amazing job on the bridge. Seeing that go in so quickly and I drive home that way here all the time now, just so I can see what's going on out there, but they're doing a great job.
It's kind of
So,
nice now they're putting, like, you can tell where the forms are, it's not just this empty platform, you're actually seeing the sides go up and, yeah.
Yeah, it's very cool. All right, and with that, unless there's anything else for the good of the order, and Dan, you have something for the
I do.
good of the order?
Trashapalooza is coming up later this month, April 19th. It's a Saturday from 10 to 11 here. We'll meet at the Cannery Square. You can sign up through Solve or the city's webpage. It's a great opportunity to get out and give back to your community as well as explore different parts of your community because you kind of are sent out. And so I've got to see many neighborhoods that I would not normally visit by doing this event. So just another way to get to know your city more and what else is out there.
Awesome, thank you. Anything else? All right, with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.